Thank you both for that.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Leys.
I would like to ask the boards, I would like to make a motion, and I'll give you some information beforehand. Rocky Proffit is requesting from the North Carolina Community Foundation to release an endowment that he set up through NAPCO of $11,550. He's asking for them to release these funds to the Wellness Center. If you know anything about the North Carolina Community Foundation, they do a wonderful job, and when they collect funds and do their fundraisers, they set up the funds in a permanent account, and they allow the use of the interest, but not the use of the principal. Well, he's asking for the principal to be released of $11,550. He's asking for support in the community to get this done, and it's just rare that this organization releases funds, and I thought it would be useful if the North Carolina Community Foundation saw that the commissioners approved and supported his request. So I make a motion that Manager Don Adams gets a letter together in support of this initiative, and I have a letter, I think each one of you have a copy of it, that Rocky has put together, and it has the words in it that it'll be pretty easy to develop a letter in support, and in the end we will help our wellness center. This is what Rocky Proffit would like to do, and I would like to support his endeavor. I make that motion.
And these,
simply just for us to direct Don Adams and Karen Evans to develop a letter in support of Rocky's request to the North Carolina Community Foundation.
and these were his funds to
This was
begin with?
his funds to begin with, and he gave it years ago.
And now he's just
And he's
asking.
asking for it to be released, to be used for, in his words, reflooring the 2 multi-purpose rooms at the Alleghany Wellness Center.
One thing I think I would need to know before I could, second that or vote for that, if the charter of the foundation allows that in the way the monies were, given, if he's able to do that. And I would need to see that and probably get an opinion from our attorney before, I went forward with a second or supporting it. And it's fine, as long as she reviews it and it's fine, then yes, I got no problem with it.
Okay.
Don, do you have any knowledge of this
Yeah,
and how it works?
I'm recently off the community foundation. I'm pretty much very knowledgeable. I know that the community foundation is talking about this. I know that they're gonna have a board meeting. I'm actually just recently, I decided not to get reappointed to that, so I haven't been in the last conversations. Where this board plays a role in this, I have no idea. I mean, I do know that it's, I do know from the community foundation standpoint, that they do have to go through and get some type of support, and I'm not really sure how it works.
It's simply, I'm asking this group's support for Rocky Proffit. And they have, I have a copy of an email from John Francis in that North Carolina Community Foundation. And he said, as the case is here, a totally reasonable and valid argument can be made while money tied up in this fund would have a greater impact through another use. So that's him speaking from that organization.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second, or Commissioner Leys, if you'd like to have any more time?
Well, I didn't say this, but it is of utmost importance to get it done today or tomorrow morning, because this lady is going to make the decision on Wednesday.
Well, this is money that an individual has donated to this group.
Yes.
And I assume people use that for, I mean, for projects
Yes.
all the time?
Yes.
This isn't unprecedented, I wouldn't think.
Yes.
And now, just to get it right, there's a North Carolina community foundation, and all of this was raised locally.
Right.
Yeah, and
This
what-
was raised locally by Rocky Proffit. He donated the money.
And it was put in an endowment fund. The endowment fund, the concept behind the endowment fund is basically that you use the interest or the investment earnings annually to do something with that. So you don't spend the principal. And an endowment fund, usually the intentions of endowment fund is continued fundraising. So you do there is a community foundation endowment fund that they're continuously fundraising for because they need the money to be larger. Right now, they're giving away, the main thing for community foundation, they're giving away probably about $3,000 to $5,000 a year. But, you know, they've got over $100,000 in savings. And the idea is that an endowment fund is it's now and forever. So I think what probably, I don't know what Rocky did, but I would assume that he intentionally started an endowment fund that would be continuous fundraising, thinking that it would always benefit the wellness center or whoever the primary purpose. But apparently there must not have been any more fundraising. So now what you have is about $11,000 tied up in an endowment fund that's not producing any, you know, not any significant returns. And so then you get into the legalese of, I don't really know how the endowment fund was set up and things of that nature. So
And I think
that's
that's
where I'm.
something we definitely need to know before we can put our name to it.
I simply wanted to support Rocky Proffit in his request.
And I understand that, and I've got no problem, but before signing the document, we need to make sure that legally, you know, it's something we can do.
Well, it's not our money.
No, that's right, it was Rocky's money, but it depends on how the endowment fund was set up. And we have no idea what the endowment fund says in the release of the money. So voting on it, I don't think we can, you know, take a position on it right now.
Any other, so far there's no second.
Has Rocky run into a problem as far as him getting this money?
He has written this letter requesting this. So,
To Mr. Whiteside?
yes, and he is gathering community support. So I thought it would be a nice gesture from this Board of Commissioners to support his request. I didn't mean for it to be a problem.
Well, I don't think anybody's trying to make it a problem, but I mean, there are some valid points.
Well, if it's not legal for them to release this money, then, you know, that's their issue. It's simply Rocky's trying to get community support for his request. He's called several folks around the county and asked them to contact. And I thought it would be a strong gesture to come from the county commissioners.
Do I hear from anyone? Well, I'll second it, just so we can discuss it and vote on it. We've already discussed it pretty much. I think we're reticent, unsure about doing this, kind of without some legal guidance on it. At least that's what I'm hearing from the board.
Well, you could put in your letter, upon receiving legal advice that this procedure can be attained.
Any other comments?
I would personally like to see a letter, and know what was signed.
You would prefer a letter be,
If we want to craft a letter and
on county commissioner letterhead?
That's my recommendation, yes.
Okay. Any other comments? Then all in support of the motion made by Commissioner Leys, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
I don't know.
3-2.
Okay. I would like to, for those of you that don't know, Rocky Proffit has been elected to the North Carolina Economic Rural Developmental Center Board of Directors on the statewide board, and that's a really nice thing for our county. It's nice to have a positive voice, and he'll make opportunities happen for us. I also noticed that he's number 12 on the highest Alleghany County taxpayers. So I certainly want to support him, and I appreciate everything he does for us.
Is there any other comments, Commissioner?